Okay, I'm taking off the clips after 5 minutes, and you can always test the stuff you put down when you're mixing it up on the paper. If it's hard, you know it's going to be hard on your part too. So, whoops, that poor camera, that little miniature tripod doesn't do that good a job. But you know, I just realized, here, bear with me, it's got longer feet. I got this thing, the tripod, it's a little miniature thing I can put in my pocket. There you go. And the reason is so I can stick it in some water in a stream crossing and show the bike's going across. I think that would just look awesome. Alright, so here's the 5-minute epoxy. I think because this is old, at least the one at part of it, it's kind of milky flavored, but it's still sticking. But now the carbon fiber is now sticking to the plastic where it was not sticking before. So I'm just peeling these things off. I'm very happy with that. There's another little gap here. We'll fix that next time around. But overall, this is looking really good. I've got this much carbon fiber left. I think I can do 2 more coatings with it. So if I was to lay this on here and make sure I'm going to go all the way to the edges, this one looks pretty good. And I think I'll cut it then right over here. Now, the thing I should have talked about before is if the best way to deal with this carbon fiber and any fiberglass is wherever you're going to cut it, put a piece of tape over it, and especially on the edge, because you know, I was telling you it was unraveling as I was putting it on. I was spreading with my fingers. What happened was that you start peeling off the end of it. So because all the little layers are running, you know, parallel to each other. So the best way to deal with that is put a piece of tape on the carbon fiber, and then let me make sure I've got enough here before I get too carried away here, telling you what you should do when I don't know what I'm doing. I'll put another piece of tape. Anyway, so to keep it from unraveling, tape all the edges like that. Alright? And wherever you plan on cutting it, okay, now I'm gonna use my this part, this thing. Alright. See that? Isn't that cool? Hope I didn't take too much. I may have to do the second layer in a couple of pieces. Okay, now to keep everything from falling apart, just tape the edges. And when you're squeegeeing everything, it'll all stay together. Now the guys I buy this stuff from, actually had already put tape on here on the one edge when I bought it for the yards, so many yards, and you'll see when it comes from the factory the edge is sewn along there. So I can reuse it. And let's see how much. I don't think I use as much catalyst as our hardener as I should have yesterday, because the little pump was older. Okay, so here's this, and so I'm going to base everything on the pump of the hardener. So See, it's not quite going down as far as I would like. I think maybe 2 of those squirts are going to be equal to 1. So there's 3. And I think that would be the equivalent of 4. This, I don't even think I'd be able to see how much. Let's see if we got in, how much we got in there. Yeah, there's still quite a lot. But I don't think it had, we weren't getting the amount of hardener that we were expecting before. Alright. So I'm going to, based upon that, I'm going to use 4 squirts. Although I got like 6 of those. You're only supposed to use each squirt. Is, you know, 1 to 1. This one, there's 1 squirt. See how much that came out of that? I had this in front of the heater, so it's coming out really nice. Alright. There we go, 1 more. I want to make sure I have enough on this time. Alright. I'm going to mix it up really well. It's only because I'm dealing with old pumps and stuff, but you should do 1 squirt each. But remember, the first one came out a lot easier. And I wasn't feeling the heat when this thing was curing, and it took us like 6 hours before everything got really, really, really hard. So just follow the directions on whatever the epoxy resin you use. And of course you're going to want to have gloves in both hands when you start spreading this stuff around. And my little squeegee, I forgot to clean it off yesterday. I got so excited. We're going to go out and have some fun on the bike. So, alright. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, let's see, we have to saturate the cloth. Alright, and using the squeegee, spread it around. Until it's everywhere that it's going to have to be. Oops, hold on. Since I'm messing with the formula, I'm a little concerned that I've okay, now let's pour it over here. Just going to use my gloves and I'm going to spread it all over the surface of the pan. Oh dear, my gloves are coming apart. So if anything, this is going to be one of those good, like, fail type videos of guys doing stupid human tricks. You know, last thing a redneck ever says is, "Hey y'all, watch this." Okay, so this is my how to do it video with, "Hey y'all, watch this," and it says now I'm stuck to the pan. At least my glove is. Okay. Alright, so let's take that one off. Oh, give me another one. First of all, get some alcohol. I definitely put too much hardener on it. I just don't trust my pumps anymore. Okay, so if you get through this without making any of these mistakes, you're a pro. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm picking up all this stuff from yesterday. Let's see if this will flow. We're covered all the way around. It appears like we have it right to the edge. Alright. Now with that tape on the edges, when we go do this bit to it, we won't be trying to peel it off from it. This layer should go on so much nicer than the first experimental layer. Of course, we're getting everything under the sun on it because my work surface isn't very clean. And keep in mind, if your garage is really warm, it'll cure faster. I want to make sure that the carbon fiber cloth is pulled up really tight underneath. There we go. See, that'll now pull it up against there. The little hole is sitting right there. Cool. Alright, so lesson learned from the first pass. Use more resin. Coat both pieces before you put it together. And take Alright, now we're back. We've got the second layer of carbon fiber is all cured. Putting on my gloves because these things are like little needles with the resin in it. It's already drawn blood on me. So this is kind of what it looks like so far. So you can see it's 2 layers. Well, that's only 1 layer. Alright, so there's 2 layers on the part. So now 1 layer is pretty flexible. So we'll just go ahead. Again, you just kind of grab your X-Acto knife and just cut it along the edge of where it is you're trying to go. So go ahead and cut that out of the way. Now because the mounting hole is actually raised up a little bit here, when we put the cloth over it, we've got a gap here. So what I'll do, I'll fill this in with 5-minute epoxy just to make it solid. Speaking of which, I'm going to go put that in front of the heater. I'll just run this. Just to clean it out. That was easy. Okay, so that goes in nice and easy now. Perfect. All right. I'm just checking to see. I did get a little bit of resin on the inside of here. I hope it doesn't affect our installation. So let's see how it goes. I've got the little rubber baby buggy bumpers back in there. They always seem to come out with me when I'm putting this thing on. What are we missing here? Seems to be where it's supposed to be. Okay. That one lines lines up. There we go. That one lines up. Okay, so right now, this one, if I push on it, it does move in. You know, it's getting pretty rigid up there. But because it moves, maybe it'll dampen any rocks that might hit it. Here's on this side, somewhat flexible, but I'm kind of looking in here, when we go to put on the next layer on the inside, did I leave enough room between the engine components and it looks like I did. It shouldn't affect it. Let's check over here, and this one is a little bit closer to the I see. So it pulled out a little bit from the back in here, so I think if I go ahead and put one layer on the inside of that and both of them, I think that would be good to go. But doesn't that look like it's going to offer a lot better protection than the stock one? I think so. I think you could do this with regular fiberglass too, which is going to be like 1/10 the cost of doing carbon fiber. And then you could take your fiberglass and paint that sucker orange. You know, the carbon fiber we just kind of want to leave black because it looks sexy by the way, you know. Okay, well I'm going to go ahead and take this thing off. You don't need to see me do that. Oh, and you want to check and see here. See how the little curvature here fits in the frame there on both sides. And if you got really, we could have taken this all the way up and did something back like that. I don't know how much you still want to be able to pull off check your oil. You know, that's the water pump for the radiator, so I think that's really crucial to protect. I think I'm very happy that we're guarding that. And then the oil pump on the right hand side for the top end is being, you know, got something at least will deflect in a different direction. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and then we'll get back to it. And when we start doing